There's a story that has been circulating for years about a man who claims he was part of a secret project run by the U.S. government. A project that supposedly combined war, mind control, and abilities that seem impossible. The name he uses is Robert Duncan, and according to him, his own life was erased and rewritten. This story gained attention when it appeared on a show called Conspiracy Theory, hosted by Jesse Ventura. Ventura wasn't just a typical TV host. He had been a soldier, a professional wrestler, a Hollywood actor, including in the movie Predator, and even a governor. In other words, someone who had experience in the military, political, and media worlds. And it was on this show that he interviewed Robert Duncan. According to Duncan, he lived a normal life, but something felt off. From a young age, he had extremely vivid nightmares, wars he had never lived through, combat in Vietnam, gunfire, death. At first, he thought it was just imagination, but over time, the nightmares started happening while he was awake. Everything changed after a serious accident. He was involved in a car crash and taken to the hospital. During an MRI scan, something strange happened. According to him, the scan damaged metallic implants inside his body, including in his brain. And from that moment on, the memories began to return. He claims he discovered something disturbing. His father was a secret agent, and he had been taken, as a child, into an experimental program. This program, according to him, was a branch of the MK Ultra project. The goal? To create special soldiers. The core idea of the project was unusual. Soldiers would operate in pairs. Receiver, the physical combatant; emitter, someone with psychic abilities. The emitter would supposedly be able to predict enemy movements, send information mentally, and guide the soldier in combat, as if it were a form of invisible communication. According to his account, the training was brutal. Extreme physical and psychological tests. Many children did not survive. Those who did developed unusual abilities. He claims he went through this as a child. The war he didn't remember. One of the strangest parts of the story, Duncan says he was sent to the Vietnam War at just 14 years old, but for a long time he had no memory of it. Years later, as an adult, something happened. He met a man who immediately recognized him. This man claimed they had fought together in Vietnam. They were part of the same project. The man's name was David Corso, and according to him, all of it was real. Duncan tried to prove his story. He searched for military records. The result? Almost nothing. Only one document, a medical record from the military after a gunshot injury. No complete history, as if parts of his life simply didn't exist. He also claims to have unusual abilities, extremely fast reflexes, above-average strength, episodes of losing control. And the strangest part, he says he avoids movies and stimuli because they can trigger other personalities. One of the most controversial claims, he says that at one point he passed through solid walls. It sounds impossible, but interestingly, there are real military programs that explored similar ideas. For example, the so-called Stargate project. This documented program investigated remote viewing, extrasensory perception, and military use of psychic abilities. One of the names associated with it was General Albert Stubblebean. He even claimed that soldiers could develop abilities beyond the ordinary. Some try to explain these ideas using concepts from quantum physics. At the quantum level, Particles can exist in two places at once, pass through solid barriers, and behave in ways that defy classical logic. The theory is, if these principles could be applied to the macroscopic world, then impossible things might not be so impossible after all. In the end, there are only a few possibilities. All of this is real, but highly classified. Part of it is real, part of it is distorted, or it's all the result of mental confusion. There is no definitive proof, but it's also not an isolated story. The story of Robert Duncan is not about proving something. It's about a question. How far can governments go when no one is watching? And more importantly, how many stories like this exist without ever being confirmed?